You know how tailgating is like the pre event to the main event of a football game? Well, it often seems like I need to pre manifest willpower in order to be able to manifest my actual desires. Because before I can create a new reality, it kind of feels like I need to manifest the willpower to change into the type of person who can create change. And I'm guessing you might feel the same way. That you are struggling and fighting constantly with your own seeming lack of willpower. But what if willpower is not what you're missing? What if that is not the right tool for our reality creation job at all? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you why it seems like some people have endless amounts of willpower, but it's not actually willpower, and how you can utilize the same energetic tool they're using to succeed and call in your desired manifestations. Hi, my name is Allison, and I help people use their God given abilities to build belief, shift identities, and create their own reality. And if at any point this video resonates with you, I would so greatly appreciate a like, subscribe, or hype. Now, let's get right into it. This is why willpower is not the actual power you need to use to change, to evolve, to expand into more. Let me ask you this. When I ask you to picture that cartoon Bob the Builder, or picture any kind of generic builder construction guy, what do you imagine you see hanging off his tool belt? A hammer, right? Well, in my 12 years as a project manager for a general contractor, I have not once, not ever, seen a carpenter use a hammer. I've never even seen one on a job site. Do you know what they use? Screw guns, impact drivers, these big pneumatic air guns that shoot nails and screws into the framing. But in our minds, our collective consciousness, we associate builders with hammers. Now, can it be that we have made this same false association with willpower and success? We say we need willpower. And why do we think that? We're all familiar with that guy, the rags to riches story, the little guy who became a successful giant, who never took no for an answer. Someone who woke up early, worked late, stayed disciplined, made the difficult choices, and refused to quit. And we look at all of that effort and decide the tool they must have had to use was willpower to push through it all. And then we say, well, if I have to use that kind of willpower to push through all of that, I ain't gonna get what I want, because I don't have that in me. So we see this level of success and assume we don't have the willpower to effort through all of that. But I think what we're doing here is imagining the hammer hanging from the tool belt instead of the real source of power for evolving and arriving, receiving a new manifestation. People do not manufacture willpower endlessly out of thin air. Nobody wakes up one morning with an amazing amount of energy that makes going through sacrificing, discomfort, uncertainty, rejection super easy to deal with. The real energy resource behind determination and willingness to hear no or have a door slammed in your face. The perseverance to see a thing through to the manifestation comes to the person who is more aligned and convinced of the reality of their end manifestation. They put more importance on the end event. That outweighs the desire, outweighs the temporary discomfort, upsetness, frustration, disappointments that come along with taking a journey of evolving, of expanding. It is taking the journey and following through the obstacles that we attribute to willpower. But the energy to walk the path is something that is actually far more powerful and much more easy to access. When someone has been rejected 100 times, We look at all those 99 no's and think about how much effort and energy that person had to put in to see it through 1, 2, 3, 30, 50, 80, 99 times of no's. That feels like a long and hard journey. But the person who does not allow any of those no's to become their reality, the person who can see it through to the 100th time that becomes a yes, is the person who was able to maintain their commitment to hearing yes. Their belief in the end made the effort they put in to get there easier because they were only allowing for one outcome, the outcome they wanted. Let's think about it in this way that I think will really help. We're all familiar with the movie The Matrix and that very famous scene where Neo is dodging bullets and he's floating backwards. To the people in the movie who are watching him from the outside, it looks like he is like putting in max effort to dodge each and every one of those bullets, to fly around, defying the odds, behaving godly, miraculously. How could anyone do such a thing? And it looks exhausting and impossible, which is often how we think of people who have manifested really great wealth and abundance and improved their lives greatly, and that the path usually included a lot of trials and tribulations, and think the typical person, a person like me, is not really going to make it through all that. Just like we would assume someone dodging 1,000 bullets is not going to make it out alive. But when in the movie they cut to Neo's perspective of the event, he is not moving fast or chaotically at all. He is moving very slowly, deliberately, as if it is no big deal at all. He simply moves and glides without a care, concern, breaking a sweat, because he is not trying hard. He is not forcing effort. He is not struggling against the what is experience. He spends no time in resisting the situation he is in because he understands that in his reality, having 1,000 bullets coming at you does not have to mean that you will get hit by them. He does not allow the outside object, the conditions that he is in, to dictate what is true in his reality. Because he no longer accepts the obvious outcome, the outcome everyone else would assume to be true, which means then he does not need to battle the bullets with the same amount of force that someone who is not secure in themselves would have to use to dodge them. That is not willpower. That is belief energy. Belief changes how much force the process requires from you because it changes what the obstacles mean. You know, most of us have a preconceived notion on how long a desired manifestation will take, how much effort, how much force, how much skill is required to live in this type of reality. And then when we have to obey those types of assumptions, it requires a lot of force and what we call willpower. But those are simply assumptions. They're rules the mind has invented. They're not the rules for your manifestation to come to you. When the belief in your assumption becomes more convincing, more real to you than your assumptions about how difficult the path to get there has to be, your experience of effort changes. It's like mowing a lawn. Using a push mower on a hot day is going to be exhausting and take forever. But if you hop on a rider mower, it could turn into lovely time alone. It is still a chore. It is still requiring effort and action. Energy is still being expressed, but the experience of that energy and effort is completely different because we are not going to anymore use the hardest method possible to get there. Willpower is the hardest method possible to get anywhere. That is what belief changes for you. It doesn't eliminate the process. It changes the energetic position through which you move through the process. So perhaps you're hearing all of this and thinking, okay, I'm with you, but I'm still unclear about what really replaces willpower. And here is the answer. If moving through your desire feels like work, feels like effort, feels like something you have to force yourself to do, this is important to note because that is telling you the place for you to start is not with those actions. It is with strengthening your belief in the end. We may need to go through hearing no, having doors slammed in our face, being rejected, staying up all night working. That might be our path for one day, 10 days, a year. We can't know. It could be one no and then yes. It could be 100 no's and then yes. The point is that none of that gets to dictate your ability to receive it. Your belief is the only thing that does. Continue teaching yourself that the end remains intact, no matter what the middle looks like, no matter how the journey got started. And as that belief energy strengthens, the actions connected to your desire will begin to feel different. For example, auditioning for an acting role can feel exhausting and pointless when you've experienced 99 no's. But when belief is what we're looking at, when the end is what we're holding in our mind, the audition then is simply an expression of the energy of your desire. Writing, filming, editing another YouTube video to just have it perform not the way you want can feel like a lot of work for not much payoff. But when belief is established, continuing to create videos no matter the current outcome feels like a wonderful way to express your desire's energy. When we're certain of the outcome, we don't have to willpower our way through making it happen. What we're doing is simply participating. We're flowing in the energy. We're reinforcing our commitment, our energy, and our belief that the end manifestation is there. It's there for us. Now I'm simply having an enjoyable time walking the path, expressing the energy. The actions don't disappear. What has changed is what the actions mean to you and how you feel when you're taking them. Neo still has to dodge bullets. It's just very easy for him. You will still go and do and participate. It will just feel very easy and natural for you. And then everyone will look at you and say, wow, you have so much willpower. I can't even believe it. And you will know it was not willpower. It was the wonderful belief in your vision and ultimately in yourself that allowed you to be in a space where you could receive your manifestation easily. And I hope that this video was helpful to you, and I look forward to bringing you more. Thank you.